Hi there, I'd like to show you how to completely take apart the front section of your Wattbike Atom. This can be really useful if you've rounded out the bolt that adjusts the fore and aft adjustment of the handlebars, because this bolt can't be removed upwards and out, it has to be taken out downwards, and if you've completely rounded it out, then that can be very difficult to do without dismantling the whole thing. This one's fine, but just to pretend that it's completely unusable, I'm going to put a sticker over it so you can see that I'm definitely not adjusting that. So the first thing you might want to do to make it easier is you might want to completely remove the front stem and take it off to your kitchen table or whatever to work on. Or at the very least you might want to lift it up so it's easier to get access the bits you need to. Before you do either of those operations, it's well worth making a note of the height you like it at. I've got a little sticker on mine, a little yellow sticker that shows me where to drop it back to later. So with that noted, I can now lift the stem up pretty much as high as it will go and clamp that back in place. So now I've got easier access to the bolts I need to get to. You'll need two tools for this part of the job. You'll need a 5mm Allen key, which does the bolts at the back. And you need a 6mm Allen key, which does the bolt at the front. Now if you've got to this stage with your Wattbike Atom, you're probably already aware that the bolts are easy to round out. They're maybe a little soft and maybe not the best quality. So I would just advise that with the bolts that you're taking out now, to take your time, use good tools, especially when it's not been done before, they can be quite stiff. But do take care, because these bolts will be difficult to replace or difficult to get at to replace if you were to round them out. So just take your time and use good tools. So I'm going to start off by undoing the front bolt a few turns, just to kind of loosen that up a bit, and I'm going to do the same on the back. It's going to be quite tricky to get into, but again, just take your time, and yeah, you can start loosening those off. There's two on the back, so at least to begin with, as we start letting the tension off, try to do that evenly. And then I might completely remove one of them once the tension's been taken off the clamping mechanism. Put that somewhere safe. Finish off removing the front one. Oops. Okay, just grab that. And now that'll allow me to just rotate this round, take the handlebars out. Cool. Mine just fell off, but when you take it into bits, be mindful there's a little silver piece here that just sits in that recess on the handlebars. You don't want to lose that, that's very important. So with the handlebars put to one side, we can now finish removing the final bolt. And now we can take off the whole top piece, and we have access now to the bottom of that bolt that's rounded out. Now, now it's quite easy to get hold of just with your fingers, and you can take that out. Brilliant. Job done. One other thing I'd like to just show you, I'm going to put that bolt back in, because there I was kind of lucky enough that I'd pretended that I'd rounded it out when it was fully clamped onto the handlebars. But some people get to the point where their bolt is rounded out when it's at the top of its travel, so it's not clamping the handlebars. And this actually can be a bit harder to remove, because now I can't really get my fingers in there to to get at it. But I can just get a pair of pliers or grips of some kind, and I can just carefully grip the edge of that bolt and just loosen it and edge it out until it is at a point that I can just do it with my fingers. So you can see this bolt has a little lip on the bottom, which is what stops it coming out all the way from the through the top of the red slider, and why that's the reason we have to take it out the bottom. When it comes to replacing that bolt, I'm sure you can get a replacement part from Wattbike, but it would be equally likely to round out next time. You can just buy any M10 bolt from your local hardware store, just install that, and that will work completely well. And if you've got a spanner handy, you can adjust that to your heart's content. But there's another option which I make a series of M10 bolts with easy to use handles, and these will fit into the red. And these will fit into the red slider and give a nice easy way to operate that clamping mechanism. I make these in 3 different sizes. This is the smallest size, 65mm. I also do 75mm that's a little bit bigger, and 100mm that's quite a bit bigger. The bigger ones just give you a bit more grip and leverage. If maybe useful if you're sharing the bike with someone who's not got so much upper body strength and still wants to get it quite tight. I also do them in 2 lengths of bolts. This is the shortest bolt, so this allows you to have a very neat and compact form, but if you've got the tri-bars on, you might find that's a little bit close to the tubes of those, and it's a bit hard to operate, so I also do a longer version as well. Okay, so with the bolt out and problem solved, putting it back together is just literally the reverse operation as what we did before. So we're just going to install the bolts, 3 bolts back in place, put the handlebars in, and away we go. When putting the handlebars back in, I mentioned that little silver piece. That goes at the bottom of the bolt that you're clamping down with, and it just protects the handlebars from them. So that just sits in a small little round recess in the top of the handlebars. So when you're putting it all back together, you just want to make sure that it all lines up and that you're dropping the bolt back into there. Okay, I'll get this tightened up and then we're ready to go.